All right. So I'll give them a moment to solidify this as it counts down.
Uh-oh. What's going on in chat right now?
I don't know.
This is mind games going on.
I don't know. IDDQD is an interesting dude, so he might have something up his sleeve. There might be a punchline coming up here.
Sure, for saying I identify as CU me, which of course is his Smurf on the ladder, which is also in the 80s skill rating wise. So.
Yeah, that's his solo queue Smurf that he did completely alone, I think. Anyway, so this defense coming out from Fnatic.
Oh.
Oh, why?
Oh, there you have it. Cheer for dictating our Twitch chat. But what were we seeing from the defense?
Okay.
From
So
Fnatic?
the actual game is happening here. Coolmat69 will be on the defensive diva. IDDQD on McCree. Custo will play the Zenyatta. Vanithil on Lucio. Buds queued up on a defensive Roadhog. We've seen him to use to great effect on this map particularly. And Stoop will play Reinhardt.
All right, we'll take a look here at the offense coming out from C9. It's going to be Grego here on the Lucio. Reaver on McCree. Kai going to be on the Diva, Adam on the Zenyatta, Debit on Winston, Sure4 to be on the Genji.
Quality banter coming out between these two teams.
It was lighthearted. There was no real animosity there, just two teams that know each other pretty well getting into it. IDDQD, though, definitely being a little bit of a rabble-rouser to start things out.
He's a bit of an instigator.
So they do get to the first checkpoint. Of course, that's pretty standard to let a team do that early on. Do you save your strength for the second checkpoint, where it's much easier to defend and give the offense some trouble, as IDDQD does fend off Debit. 2 kills coming out here from the defense. And note that server room defense, I'm not going to say it's dead, but I feel like we've been seeing it a lot less from teams as of late, as Reaver goes down and Fnatic will be holding here in the first fight.
Yeah, I think the thing is, you used to see some hybrids too, where some people would send like 1 or 2 players into the server room. The problem was if the offensive team got over the top and decided to rotate hard into the server room, you could just count those 2 as dead immediately. So now, instead of going for hybrid defense, it's just completely on high ground defense here. I think it makes a little more sense. They are rotating over to server room a little bit. Stoop's over there by himself, but it's just to get some poke on.
That's a speed boost coming out here on the defensive side, and they're just like content to hold it in the back. I don't know if they really need the speed boost, but Reaver comes out here with the Deadeye.
Cool, Matt. It's just
will take out Diva. Uses it at the right time. Ends up getting bunny blasted right down from Coolmat, though. Oh my goodness. Zero Suit Diva beating McCree. That is something you don't see very often.
That's got to be going on Coolmat's highlight reel, right? I mean, the Deadeye was coming off, and he just charged up his Diva, got desuited by that Deadeye, which, uh-oh, that's a problem. I think he got flashbang, too, recovered, and came out and bunny blasted. That was phenomenal. That shouldn't have happened, but it was phenomenal.
Well, that's what happens when you put a player of Coolmat's caliber on Diva, and when he does get knocked out of his mech, his left click is still a deadly weapon. So ult situation pretty good here for Fnatic. Nothing too crazy, but they do have Diva ult, Transcendence, and Deadeye. Come out for the offense. Sure for Diva Dragon Blade, but got hooked and killed by Buds. And that pickoff coming out from Roadhog going to be a big deal here, as C9 really just has to back off and wait for Sure4 to rejoin the fight.
Yeah, they've been unable to dislodge Coolmat from this corner, too. He's just been running turret mode up here on his Diva, just kind of getting eyes on everyone, shutting down any pushes over the top. They've tried to knock him down a couple times with the Winston. He just flies right back up there. He's been a nuisance.
Alright, so C9 back up to full strength. Buds again looking for the hook. It hooks Zenyatta and forces out the Transcendence early. Zen had no choice but the ultimate response to that. It's lucky he didn't die outright. IDDQD comes at the Deadeye, Stoop with the big Earth Shower, knocks down 2. 2 kills here from Fnatic and make it 3, and they're holding C9 back. They gotta do this for 3 more minutes right now, Hex, but it's looking good for them right now.
The defense looks super strong right now. Stoop with a nice play there, charged in on the Diva bomb and then shielded his team away from it, just being the hero that his team needs.
My ultimate is charging.
Coolmat resumes his perch up top. It's been just a problem for them to try to initiate and deal with him over the top. I just haven't been super impressed with how Cloud9's trying to get in here. They've been getting hooked out. They're not coming in coordinated as a team. They're going to try to just bum rush through bottom.
Yep, they are going in right away. Reaver does get first pick on the Buds, finally punishing him. In comes the Diva ult. Reaver on the double kill right now. Sure4 piling on. This is the best push C9 has seen all map long. And of course, there is no mercy, so there will be no res ruining all this. This is for keeps. And C9 will start the hanger phase. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left here on the clock.
For realsies, and now they have some really nice momentum too, and it's so important in this shuttle phase to be able to take shuttle away from the defense before they can truly set up on it. When Cloud9 is able to set up on their defense, and we'll see that probably on the other half of the map, they're almost impossible to dislodge from this shuttle. So they're going to try to take it similarly on offense. It's Kai, Reaver, and Shore4 up here. Oddly enough, Fnatic knows this, and they're waiting till they get their shield tanks in so they can actually push through this doorway.
Well, Reaver right now is definitely going to be looking to jump off the shuttle, use Death Blossom to his advantage. Right now, just keeping D.Va back. See if Fnatic is actually aware of this right now, but Reaver moving forward, just laying good left clicks, and Lucio is going to have to back out, so a bit probably between both teams. Payload not being pushed at all right now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Here comes Reaver, does jump in off the top. Death Blossom at the right, going to get mostly nullified by the D.Va. Matrix has to back out.
Yeah, Stupid has been a...
Oh, it's just been a weird fight.
It has been odd. Stupid to burn his Earthshatter, completely missed it, so that is going to actually swing things back in favor of Cloud9, who has more alive on the cart than the defense has alive to be able to deal with it. It looks like they're just going to back out. They might not even be able to contest this. They are not going to be able to contest this.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're going to send Reinhardt into last mode. They're going to at least go for it. We'll see if it's wise or not. Soundbear does come out here from the offense. They're in a very good spot. Dragon Blade on the way from Shore4, takes out Vonethil. Gonna be looking for a little more. Finds Zenyatta. 2 slices. He's down. Shore4 on a double kill, looking to make a triple here in just a moment. And T9 definitely going to take this point, but Fnatic was able to buy themselves at least a little bit of stall.
Yeah, and I guess they baited out a couple ults, so it's not the worst kind of fight to trickle in there towards the end. It just looked like they weren't even going to be in position to do so. The problem is they got these staggered spawns. Now Custa's going to die for free in the back line. Buds might get picked off as well. He does transfer out of there with his teleportation. Now they're fully back into their own spawn right now.
Oh. Reaver goes for the Death Blossom, is immediately taken by Coolmata. Probably went a little bit too aggro there, and this is going to let the defense of Fnatic really roll back out and hold at this choke point. That's the downside here for C9. I think they got a little bit over aggro there. They would have been better off getting the payload further up, because now this is a really nice place for the defense to hold.
Yeah, it's one of the chokiest points in the game. It looks wide open, but there's no flanks. There's no alternative routes. You can't really go anywhere else. You're not running a Pharaoh to come over the top anymore. Maybe you can send Shore4 over the top or one of your tanks, but that's going to be a lot less powerful than it used to be with the Pharaoh. So they're going to take high ground here with their tanks.
Shore4 though, hitting Pedro, gets 2 kills here in the back line. IDD, QD, and Custer are down. The threat of McCree is over. Shore4 moving in with the Dragon Blade, gets the triple kill. God. Going for more. Shore4 on an absolute rampage.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good Genji. Definitely in the conversation of best Genji on the planet. Might be the best Genji on the planet, actually.
Well, right now, of course, vying for that, you have Tavik, you have Tailspin, you have Shadowburn and Seagull. Yeah. But he's in that club,
top 5,
to be sure.
Top 5 easy.
Stoop right now comes in, Earthshatter hits Paydirt, sets up the offense, or sets up the defense as they might be holding this. IDD QD really being a big part, still getting kills at 16 HP. Doesn't matter if no one has enough range to actually get back in on him.
Yeah, that is one wounded Cowboy, but actually able to clean it up. Stoop is in there too, so they're going to be able to stabilize here on the defense despite Shore4's heroics on Genji. They have given up a lot of ground on the defense. Generally on defense, if you want to be able to hold around this corner here and be able to spam them out as they come in, but the card is too far to be able to do that.
Yeah, Fnatic definitely has to hold a little further back. Soundbear now comes out here from the defense, so they're going to try and put an end to this real quick. Offense, of course, does Soundbear in turn. And Coolmat can take out Shore4, so Winston versus Genji matchup still going in favor of Winston. And IDD taking out the mech, but Reaver finding way more value with that ult than he did before. Gets the double kill in the back line. We're going to taste Stoop's hammer in turn as Fnatic.
Yeah, they're going to clean this up.
Still managing to hold on.
Yeah, a little out of sorts. The tanks were a little split up. Stoop missed a charge, ended up way in the back line, but no one dealt with him or cleaned him up, so he was able to come back in and turn the fight in favor of Fnatic there. And yeah, 2 pushes left. It's going to be, you know, at the very least, they've held him to a very long time here.
Yeah, this has been a good defense from Fnatic. Certainly they've given themselves a chance to set a faster offense on their own turn, but for, hey, minute 45 left, they would love to go for the full hold.
Yeah, Stoop's got an Earthshatter, which is going to be really nice for them. Any sort of huge offensive aggression is going to be answered by a Transcendence as well, so they can just play the patient game. The onus is completely on Cloud9. This angle they're taking.
Not playing a lot of time here. Stoop does go for the Earth Shatter. Don't think he got much for that. So Earth Shatter effectively wasted. Transcendence coming up for both sides. And oh no, he takes out Kai Kai at the long range Fire Strike. Of all things.
Fire Snipe.
He's just getting booped all the way back. Look at that from Debit. That's one way of isolating a target. Cheer4 did get the fall through. So C9 coming in. This is actually going to be C9's last push. They need to make this count. Deadeye's coming up. Cheer4 looking for skulls. Will find a skull. Doesn't quite finish him off in the end. IDDQD now on the McCree on the defense. Takes out Debit. Cool man on the Reaver. And this is where Fnatic, they've been bending, but they haven't been breaking. Soundbearer comes out, and they're going to push right back into C9. They're going back in. They get the 3K, and Hex might be it. 40 seconds remaining. C9 might be able to touch the point here, but their positioning is going to be terrible for this last-ditch attempt.
I mean, they're going to have to do the old-school combo, right? They're probably going to try to get this Devo Bomb in over top to make some space, but I think they'd be better served if they speed boost Sound Barrier into Death Blossom. It's an old combo, but it checks out.
Back to the good old days. But yeah, for Reaver, a lot will be depending here on this Death Blossom. Sound Barrier will be aiding him. We'll see if Reaver can do it. Here they go. Sound Barrier is out. Reaver goes to the backline. Doesn't really have a good opportunity to use Q here, but Kai Kai's bomb opens away in the backline, sets up Cheer4 for the kill and Stoop. 2 kills in favor of C9. And despite having to rush in, things are working pretty well for them here thus far. Will they be able to do it? Death Blossom comes out from Reaver at the very end. Mostly going to get nullified. Gets absolutely nothing off that. Luckily, though, Cheer4 in the back gets the double kill. Adam falls through. And C9, it's going to be in overtime, but they are going to complete this map at the very last moment.
Clutching it out. Short4 on the McCree did a ton of work in that last push, able to get the better of his counterpart. 10 minutes and 17 seconds. That's a pretty long time. A lot of that was because of their first defense being so good, because Shuttle Phase did not go very well for Fnatic, but first and third, great.
Yeah, it was really, and they came really close to having the full hold way earlier in the game, right before the hangar, so a little bit of a downside for Fnatic that they let that opportunity go away, but C9 does eventually finish it out. 10-17 is the time to beat, and we'll see if Fnatic's offense can do better than what C9 just did. Meanwhile, though, taking a look at the C9 defense as they roll out, and oh my goodness, is this happening?
It might.
The Debit's on the Reinhardt, that's fine. Cheer4 on McCree, Adam on Mercy, Grego on the Zenyatta, but is Reaver going to come out here on defensive Junkrat? We haven't seen him on Junkrat nearly as much as his other heroes, but he's walking out of spawn. Junkrat Dream is going to be alive, and this takes us quite a ways back.
Yeah, no, I watched VODs last night after I'd casted for 8 hours, so I might be losing it, but I think I remember seeing Kai Kai run a Symmetra, actually, for this team as well. So they're one of the few teams that has actually been bringing it back in. It looks like they're going to go all in on this server room defense. Yeah, you throw your Junkrat in here, you've got your Symmetra turrets up, get a teleporter in, and they are going really back to an older strategy here. I mean, Symmetra herself is an older strategy. So that is what it's going to be. That's crazy. I'm looking forward to it. Well, offensively, we'll see if they can break through this. I bet you if they see this out at some point, someone will switch onto a Winston. But for the time being, CoolMatt69 will be on a Diva. Custa is going to play Zenyatta. Bonathil on the Lucio. Buds will play the Genji. IDDQD on his familiar Cowboy McCree. And Stoop will play the Reinhardt.
All right, so timer is set. 10 minutes in play here for Fnatic, so pretty much all the time in the world, as long as they don't have to go to overtime, they're pretty much guaranteed to set a quicker time. But Cheer4 starting things out with a bang, just takes out Buds, not having any of his poke. Shot in the head, and Cheer4's to blame.
Yeah, it'll show you to throw shurikens at me. Wow, that was a heck of a shot. Yeah, so just as we were talking about how we just don't see server room defense anymore, Cloud9 is completely defying that.
Yep, they're staying in the server room. Cheer4 looking for poke early on. Reaver able to pile on, takes out Vonathil, so C9's defense here looking formidable. They'd have to hold for 5 minutes and 15 seconds to hold before the hangar, but it has happened before in the past, and Fnatic right now does look a little stumped.
Yeah, look a little bit out of sorts.
We have IDDQD right now coming in on the flank, goes through the lower room. Almost takes out the Junkrat. Reaver was absolutely under duress there. So, definitely better poke coming in here from the side of Fnatic. They're trying to crack this server room puzzle of C9. Here comes the tire, firing the hole. Will the tire strike pay dirt? Being a little bit delayed on it. finally decides to go back up, looking for Vonnefield. Vonnefield skating away, and no! Will not be able to get away from that tire. 3 kills here from C9, and they're going to force Fnatic offense right back.
Yeah, they've got no answer to this thus far. They look just kind of confused at it. I wonder if they've even had to scrim against this kind of strategy recently anyway, but it looks like they're just kind of throwing their normal stuff at it, and I think they're going to have to get to something that's going to be a little better at initiation to take one of these routes in. Maybe a charge at some point. Stoops almost got Earth Shatter.
Well, Stoop definitely has hit pretty good Earth Shatters here today, and everyone here going through the room, going to try and contest the room. Reaver able to take out Vonnefield. Vonnefield got picked off from that spam, and down to Lucio. It's rough times. Teleport does come up from Kai. C9 Ray the reinforce at a moment's notice. IDD QD though that takes out 2. Grego and Kai are both down. Teleporter might be getting value here in just a moment. Dragon Blade out from Buds will get taken down in short order. So pretty back and forth between the two sides here as Kai picks up the double kill on Symmetra. He's gonna get the triple kill!
Told you, man. If you underestimate Symmetra's primary, you do so at your own peril. You do so generally from your own spawn room, thinking that, man, I didn't know that primary was that good.
Symmetra, though.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Only one charge is teleport to use there, too, so they conserved some of it. They knew they didn't need all of it. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to underestimate, but Symmetra gets on you like that. It is all sorts of damage.
Yeah, Vonnefield needs to be a little more careful because he died early in that fight last time too, and it's not the first time he's died to a spammed out grenade, but they do have a switch up here. Buds is going to come up onto the Widow.
Yeah, definitely don't see offensive Widow too much, but here comes the tire from Reaver. Looking for anything. Oh no, not like this, Buds! Well, that is one way of killing an offensive Widow, I suppose. Reaver getting right in on it. 55 in favor of C9, and this defense has been very formidable, buying all sorts of time. IDD QD, though, does take out Surefour. Wins the McCree versus McCree battle. Luckily for Surefour, though, teleport's still up. He's going to be back in this sooner rather than later.
They've got the teleporter up. They got Resurrection up. Any death is not going to be even nearly permanent.
That comes up here from IDD QD, looking for the skulls. No, Surefour is looking for his head. Takes him out with a headshot. Pretty bloody here between both teams, but Teleporter going to get very good use. Adam used the res just a moment ago, bring up some of the fallen heroes, and Buds, one of the last people alive here, is in the back, does have recon sight. Takes out Adam, will he get more? Flanking Widow on the prowl. Takes out Surefour, Buds on the double kill. Oh my goodness, someone stop him, he has 3!
And the timing of it's kind of late, but they are going to come through this teleporter. Teleporter is still useful, still up in server room. They are going to push it back around this point. It's huge to get it past the server room because now they can come over top and not have to deal with it.
Well, Bud's playing the team on his back. The flanking Widow doing so much there. Takes out Kai in the end. He's up to 5 kills here in the last 20 seconds. It doesn't matter that people are coming through the teleport. The damage has been done. Fnatic going to get to the checkpoint, and down goes Surefour. Bud's on an absolute rampage right now.
God.
This is crazy. Absolute nuttiness for Buds. He picks up more. He is picking apart the C9 squad right now on his Widow.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier, he's been just nothing short of impressive the last week or so on this team. It's always like, oh, IDQD's this, and Cool Matt is that. Buds, the Forgotten Man, has played so many heroes to such great effect. It was on Pharah that I first noticed, of course, that dream is dead, but he's been crushing it on so many different heroes. Buds, the new face of Fnatic.
Alrighty, well, Kai able to get in here on defense, takes out IDD QD, gonna lose a Steva v Diva battle. Offense is starting to pile on, offensive sound barriers on the way. They're on the cart, they're moving it forward once more. Fnatic has been looking good here since Buds went on his rampage. Reaver and Surefour, though, starting to bring it back. Surefour on the double kill, has Vonnefield on the sights. This is never where Lucio wants to be. Eats one headshot, Surefour looking for more. Flashbang, boom, dead. And C9 will stabilize in part due to those McCree heroics.
Alright, so a little shy of 5 minutes left to finish out the map. That's how strong that first was here. And here's where Cloud9 actually gets the most dangerous. This is why Gibraltar's a map people don't like to play against Cloud9. Their shuttle defense is second to none. Absolutely impeccable, darn near unbreakable.
Well, as you say that, IDDQD immediately takes out Surefour, gets rid of one of the major threats. Reaver going to have to put the team on his back here on the defensive 76, and 76 still pretty good at this part of the hangar phase. No reason why it wouldn't be, even with some of the nerfs that Soldier has gotten. Still, though, Fnatic does pick up 2 extra kills off that. Surefour is down. They need the backup. They just don't have the power they need to actually deal with this anymore. A big hook comes out from Cool Matt. And I think they've chained up dust here, but they will be able to get to this next checkpoint, and they'll still have some decent time for finishing out the map.
Yeah, 4 minutes exactly on my clock. It's a little bit off, probably. It's not the official timer, but that's a good estimate. About 4 minutes to finish out this. They're rolling with a ton of momentum. Kaikai dies really late there, too, so they're going to try to get this around the corner. As we mentioned, it's a pretty rough choke point early on in this push here. Yeah, as good as that first hold looks, it's as bad as the shuttle phase looked, and it's been an interesting back and forth between these two teams, where the first defense has been so much better than shuttle defense.
Yep, Reaver right now on the defense does take out Cool Matt right away. C9 being awfully aggressive as they roll in. IDD QD, though, comes in with the Deadeye, takes out Reaver. Sunbear coming out here from the offense. And they're piling on here. C9 starting to fall apart on the defense. This is going to let Fnatic get at least up to the last bend.
My ultimate is charging.
Yeah, definitely is all the momentum in their favor here. Shore 4 is going to have a heroic chance at a Deadeye here, but that is all they're working with on defense. Reaver's coming up already onto a Tracer.
Yep, so Reaver been wearing many hats here in this game as far as hero swapping and all the rest. We'll see if the defensive Tracer works out. I do like Tracer here on Gibraltar, though. Tracer, anytime you have a long, extended area, she can be pretty good at picking people off in the backfield, but it is a risk, especially going up against a McCree of the caliber of IDD QD, where right now he is looking to get in onto Reaver. Defense of C9 being a little bit aggressive off the Soundbearer, has to back off. Reaver, though, does get value in the back, takes out Stoop. He's laying in pretty good poke.
Yeah, you know, Tracer is the bane of Reinhardt's existence. You're only able to cover yourself from one side, and she's everywhere.
Look at how much respect he's showing IDD QD. As soon as IDD QD turns on, he has to blink away. Not showing quite enough, though, as IDD QD piles on, gets a double kill, takes out both Reaver and Shore 4, the engines of C9 DPS, makes it a triple kill. And Fnatic right now rolling to the last point. They're going to take map 1 away from Cloud9 with 2 minutes to spare. Hang on.
Yeah, they are. They had a Death Blossom to lock that down as well, charging the gate at the end to make sure no stalling shenanigans came out. That is Fnatic's map on Gibraltar, and I mean, pretty close. The really cool defense coming out from Cloud9 held for so long. Good defenses from both sides, actually, on that map. Surprising that the shuttle phase was exactly what it was for both teams. Offenses just held sway there. Just even when they got set up on the shuttle, they got bullied out of it, and a lot of kills came in, so close set between these two teams so far. We'll see what the next map is going to be. It is going to be Cloud9's choice. Maybe Hollywood?
We will see where C9 decides to bring us. But I will say, you commentators cursed Cloud9 so incredibly hard. They were set up in the hangar phase. They're looking good. You said, yeah, there's points here where Cloud9 looks unbreakable. And then IDD QD runs in, gets the skull on Deadeye, on the Shore 4, takes him out, and it just was all downhill from there. That was...
Well, Shore 4 was kind of being cocky about it, too. He had his own Deadeye up and was just kind of moseying towards the tip of the shuttle without a shield in front of him, so... I mean, yeah, I know I totally cursed them, my bad.
Got a little bit inner artosis in you yet.
He still doesn't follow me on Twitter, and it's the tasteless I want.
All right, so Fnatic saying they want to be on defense here on Numbani, which means Cloud9 will be on the attack first. So Fnatic 1 map away from taking this group stage away from Cloud9. We'll see if they're able to do it. And glad to see a little bit more Numbani in play, just because Numbani, again, is still one of the more unique maps in terms of team compositions. Not quite like all the other maps in the game.
It's one of the maps that is still forces people to transition from one comp to another. A lot of the times on Hollywood lately, we're seeing a team that'll just run, this is our comp from first on offense, and we're going to take it all the way to last. And that's new. Hollywood used to be, you have to transition to this, have to transition to that. Our first offense is different there, second offense. Numbani still requires that out of teams. The first defense you run is not going to be the second defense you run. First offense you run, you're going to have to transition into something different there. So it's been really fun to watch.
Alrighty, so Numbani now being loaded. Fnatic looking to put this away. C9 looking to force map number 3. We'll see just what both teams have in store for us here as we load into it. And I will say, take a look at the defense coming out from the side of Fnatic. Now we're just going to read it off here because this looks like what they're running with. There's going to be Stoop here on the Diva, Vonathil on Lucio, Custa on the Zenyatta, Cool Matt going to be bringing out the Torb, Buds on Roadhog, and IDD QD on McCree. And I feel like Roadhog has been one of the more X factors right now of the current meta, where a lot of teams have been scared to run him. They certainly have been seeing way less play, in large part because of the prevalence of Zenyatta, but he's still a really good hero and really good at playing spoiler to many things that are in the meta, particularly if he has hook up, he can threaten McCree's, though it's sort of a love-hate relationship between the two. And he can also threaten Genji's in the backline, so even with the Zen in play, I think there's definitely a place for Roadhog right now.
I would tend to agree. Hook remains a very, very good ability. We'll see if he sets up in the place that I always find very fun to watch him on first point Numbani, to try to spoil any jump in that happens. It's really funny to grab a diva out of midair and just ruin the push single-handedly. However, that's probably not going to happen, as it doesn't look like Cloud9's going to run. Well, no, there it is. Kaikai's going to come up on that diva. Reaver's playing the offensive 76. Debit onto the Reinhardt. Adam on Zenyatta. Grego will play Lucio Shortfor on McCree. But they've been taking a different angle last time on Numbani. They came around the backside, took the high ground away from them behind their McCree, just actually pelted with their hit scan heroes. We'll see if they do that. We'll see if Fnatic knows that it's coming.
All right, so Cloud9 leading the way right here. Which direction will they go? They faked like they were going to the left, but they are going straight up the gut hex. They're coming in. They were looking for a flank to the side against it. Now they're just going all the way back, all the way around. A little bit of sneakiness right now coming out of C9.
Yeah, a little rope it up. They're also going to try to take this high ground, just a different way to get to these stairs.
Yep, I think they're coming in from the front. They end up going from behind, and now they're going to the alternate side of the high ground right now. Will be threatening the Torb turret. Take it out immediately. Good mobility coming out of C9 right now. No one getting picked off and all of that, and they've given themselves a pretty good advantage here on the high ground as Kaikai right now chasing after both McCree and Zenyatta, and they're going to... Oh man, they're forced way out of position from that as a result.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how are you going to adjust to this as a defense? All your plans have been foiled. The positioning's been completely swapped out here.
That comes out from Shortfor, takes out Custa, and yeah, I mean... It was a brilliant approach from C9. I really liked it. It was fancy footwork. And it started with the fake out. They made it look like they were going up the left side, and then they went up the gut and went around.
Yeah, that's going to be it for first points. Yeah, it was a very similar strategy, just a different way to get there, right? They essentially came through the same point in the end. They wanted to take this high ground away. It's exactly the same composition they ran. They just went through the other side before. Maybe feeling that Fnatic had maybe seen that and were ready for it and scouting it, they just went to the other side. Again, strategy was similar, but really cool kind of mind games coming out from Cloud9, able to take that point extremely quick.
The key to the mind games is just to save them from getting hit with a whole ton of poke as they ran in. Yeah. Poke that very well could have picked off one person, and you can do all the razzle-dazzle you want, but if you lose a person as you go around like that, it spells doom. So really, really cool stuff coming out here from the side of C9 to take that point. Again, on Numbani, it's the lab. I swear, you see some of the coolest offenses and defenses coming out on this map.
Yeah, it just plays a little different, a little bit different. That you have to run different compositions here. It's been a joy to watch.
The Diva ult over the top, fireworks in action. IDD, QD, and Vonnefield both playing Dust, and C9 definitely just outplaying Fnatic on multiple levels right now to start out Numbani. Fnatic really struggling to find their footing. Just everything downhill after that initial movement from C9.
Yeah, Reaver getting a couple kills on his 76. He's looked great on that today. Custa is all alone up here up top. He's going to get jumped on. He is not long for this world. Has to transcend out. You know what? I think he's better off dying there unless they really feel they're going to hold this.
C9 still chaining deaths.
Yeah.
Fnatic has not really been able to reestablish it all. Shortfor, of course, looking for long-range poke, and McCree does pile on.
I mean, so now
you've gone to the second checkpoint very fast. I mean, time-wise, Hex, as far as it's only about to be 3 minutes surpassed in this game thus far, so this is super, super quick.
It's the last two deaths I have the most issue with, because both Custa and IDDQ not only died really late there trying to hold, but you both used their ults there. They used Transcendence and Deadeye there, which would be nice to try to mount this last defense.
That's a Deadeye right now coming out from Shortfor. Skulls popping up everywhere. Shields not protecting. Vonnefield and Stoop both going to bite the dust. And the misery continues here for Fnatic as Shortfor puts up a triple kill. Fnatic's on the ropes. Coolmat, one of the last people alive, has to wait for the rest of his team to stream in. Going to die on the mech. It gets taken out. No room for a Bunny Blaster. And here comes Attack Fires with Reaver looking to put this game away. Gets the double kill. Shortfor piling on. And C9 setting a lightning fast time of 3:31.
That's insanity. Wow. IDDQD got punched off the cliff at the end. That is kind of a microcosm of how that game went. Just never able to get their feet under them after that first push. Really cool movement. Some late deaths, some mistakes, I think, just based on when they used their ults, who was dying when. They never gave up enough ground to regroup and actually mount a successful defense. 3:31 is an astonishingly fast Numbani time. That's like no one ever stopped the cart from moving fast Numbani time.
That is, you have to go back to the era of double orb to see a dramatically faster time than that. So, outlook right now for Fnatic, not very good. C9 has done a lot to put themselves in a position to probably force a map number 3. But Fnatic still gets their shot at attack. We'll see if they can come up with heroics and actually beat this time. But right now, outlook not so good.
Outlook for viewers very good, though, because it means we're probably going to be going to Hollywood.
Well, either way, take a look at the defense coming out here from C9, and this is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Grego's going to be on the Lucio, Reaver on the McCree, Adam on Zenyatta, Debit on Winston, Kai on the Diva, and yes, you see it here, right? Mei going to be coming into play here on Numbani, and there's a point where we actually used to see her pretty frequently on Numbani for a week or two, where teams would use Ice Wall to really zone people out, and Surefour is certainly going to be looking for a little bit of that here again.
Well, honestly, if he can wall them off once and then like get ice block a couple times on the point, what's that buy you? About 20 seconds? That's almost enough to win the game right there. So you could, if you could run multiple Meis, they could probably win the game just with that. But the offense is going to have to get a lot of work done and not get stopped at all. That offense is going to be IDDQD on McCree. Buds will play the Genji Custa on Zenyatta. Coolmat 69 on Diva. Stoop will play the Winston. Vonathil on the Lucio.
Alright, so let's see what Surefour has in store. The Mei goes for a really early wall there. We'll have to put it back up in mode. Wall does not exactly have the longest of cooldowns. They're coming right back up. And if they rush this, Surefour is ready for another wall. Will he wall off Zenyatta? No, but he comes close. Meanwhile, take a look at the rest of the offense. They are rolling in. Fnatic, or Coolmat does take out Reaver early on, so Reaver gets caught out by the Diva. Kai though, firing back, takes out Custa. Still in Fnatic's favor here thus far. 2 kills to 1. Bud's getting to backline up pretty even, but does feel like Fnatic has a little more tempo. But Surefour coming in hot, or should I say coming in cold, gets 2 kills on Mei. Already has a blizzard as Kai just says K.
I mean, Buds has to stay in here and fight this here. Oh my god, Reaver takes down IDDQD, who is going to come with Buds and try to help him stall this out. 2.5 minutes left to finish the map.
Yeah, and the problem is, time-wise, they just don't have that much time. If they fail this next push, they'll probably call GG. Surefour goes for the ice block here, and the Mei definitely has been effective. He's been able to pick up kills. Vonathil can't go anywhere. Gets taken out by that. He's just wall-running Segway. Can't do anything. There's a wall. Surefour on the double kill with Mei. Cool plays coming out from C9.
Yeah, it's been pretty chill. That's game. I mean, they're not going to call it just yet,
No.
but there's 2 minutes left to finish the map, and they're at spawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a minute 30 left here in a little bit, and that's just not enough time to bring it in.
So,
Not in the least.
going to go for moral victories here.
Well, Sunbear comes out here from the offensive Fnatic. They're going to be rolling it in. Buds is holding on to Dragonblade. Reaver, though, firing right back. He gets a double kill Deadeye. And just not Fnatic's map the way this rolled out. Oh, man. A little bit of fireworks just to finish it off. Kai on the triple kill, and GG should be called here, and there it is. We're going to go back to lobby, and we are tied 1-1. Dominating performance coming out from C9. That's on the Numbani to bring it right back.
That's a combo I don't think I've ever seen in competitive play. Blizzard into Diva Bomb. That you absolutely clean up 3. There's no more helpless feeling than being frozen and seeing the Diva mech land next to you while it's blinking. Must have been terrifying. Regardless, that is 1-1, and we are going to Hollywood. What a set.
Yep, Hollywood. What a way that ended. I'm actually happy to see some Hollywood here. We haven't seen as much of it here today as you would expect for a map that oftentimes you see first in every set. So ending in Hollywood seems fitting to me. We'll see what the sides are here in just a moment, but I am ready. Hopefully the chat is ready. And what a way that ended here on the first night of the Alienware Monthly Melee. Of course, these teams will be back tomorrow for day 2, which will be the elimination day. Top 2 teams in every bracket will be in the will be in the winners side of things. Bottom 2 teams in each group will be in the lower bracket.
All right, so Cloud9 chooses to attack first. It is their side choice. All right, admin, we'll get this going momentarily. Yeah, I mean, I will say my one prediction was right, that it was going to go to 3. So I was right on one thing tonight. Didn't curse the set. So we're ready. Our admin's asking for ready.
Okay, we're going to tell them to go, and we are all set here.
Oh, what a great night of games it's been. I mean, even the games I thought were going to be super one-sided surprised me. It's just been great evening of Overwatch.
Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it was very short notice. Big shout-outs to Ono for being the fill-in for TSM. TSM was originally scheduled to be here tonight, but one member had an emergency. Ono came in, and even though they did not win any of the series that they were playing in, it was still closer than a lot of people thought going in. They definitely made it competitive, and really good showing for a team that, up until recently, has been relatively unknown.
Yeah, it's always good to step in with an opportunity, and they made the most of it. They absolutely must have opened a lot of people's eyes for a team that is not yet sponsored, a relatively new roster looking forward to. I mean, if people are out there looking for teams, and people definitely are, then you would, you know, kind of look at their performance and be like, this is what they're doing against these top 5 teams. That's pretty impressive. We see nothing but potential there, so good on them. Those top 5 teams that they look good against are facing off against each other here. Defensively, it is going to be Fnatic on the Hollywood defense first. IDDQD, to no one's surprise, is going to be running McCree. Vonathil on Lucio. Cool Matt, 69 on the Winston. Custa will play the Zenyatta. Buds on Reaper. Stoop is going to play Reinhardt.
All right, and taking a look here at the offense for C9 as they set up and prepare. It is going to be Surefour on the Genji, Grego on Lucio, Reaver going to be on the Reaper, Kai on D.Va, Adam not going to be on Hanzo, not going to be a thing. Very likely to be on Zenyatta here, or even a Mercy, but Mercy on offense has been sort of a milk carton says here, so I'm expecting the Zen from Adam, and Devitt will be on the Winston.
So the big question is, do they get this on the first push? Hollywood defense has been a very difficult thing for people to deal with lately. I think it's been the advent of D.Va, been able to help Winston on his dive-ins, so Hollywood defense has been absolutely brutal.
Alrighty, so we'll see if the Hollywood defense here will have a little bit of luck. But yeah, as you're right, it has been brutal. It's not had a good track record here. Most teams have been able to get it on the first push. Vonathil, though, immediately takes out Devitt. Devitt perhaps going a little bit too deep. Immediately getting punished. IDDQD firing right back. 3 kills coming out here from Fnatic, so they will have a successful defense on the first push, which for Hollywood is pretty much an achievement in of itself.
It's already a successful Hollywood defense. I think teams have actually wisened up that they're not just holding on the top edge of Cafe here, because the teams that have tried to put a couple people there, like as traditionally you did on Hollywood, have been absolutely bullied off there and losing heroes.
I think the key is you do have to be more aggressive on the defense. You have to bring the fight to the offense and not give up as much ground. IDDQD, though, does get a quick pick here to start things out. Golmata firing through, takes out Adam, and the Fnatic, this aggressive defense is working out. C9 has had real trouble actually breaking through it, not passively staying the Cafe, perhaps the way to go.
Yeah, it looks that way. Just kind of just holding on the ground. It seems counterproductive to just concede the high ground on both your left and the right, but you make the team come to you, and then when you see an opportunity, bringing the fight to them has worked out really well. They're going to have both support ultimates up. IDDQD is already charged up. Good look.
Yeah, Surefour goes into Dragon Blade. He's going to be met by Sound Bearer. So Vonathil, he's going to drop the beat. They use Transcends as well. I think it's a little bit of an overlap waste. But still, Surefour not able to get anything done here on the Dragon Blade. Completely stymied by those support ults. And Buds, he's long on Death Blossom right now. Might be seeing it here in just a moment. Reaver does take out Coolmat for first pick of the fight. So C9, a little bit more power on their side. Kai and the IDDQD, and Earth Shadow from Soup sets up Buds. Here comes the cleanup. Double kill from Buds. But the D.Va defensive matrix, Korean future vacuum, taking up the most of that ult in the end, and C9 is still going to take this point.
They are, but it's you know, based on recent standards, it's a pretty good first point defense. Now they're going to stall it out even more. Just they're fine. This is actually not too bad from Coolmat. He does get discorded and deleted, but I think the idea was to let his team have 5 or 6 more seconds to set up onto the second roof. They're going to have to take the slow ride elevator up. Surefour is going to try to get some poke in, but he thinks better of it, backs off.
Alrighty, so ultimates are coming up here now for the offense. Reaver has made his way up to the rooftop, and here comes Surefour. Dragon Blade at the ready once more. Still not really getting what he's looking for. Can't go as deep in as he wants, and gonna get a fire strike right from below, and it's Superior. Now Fnatic will be able to push C9 right back.
Yeah, they're going to take this fight right to him as Buds is getting speed boosted in, looking for targets here. IDDQD is right behind him, takes down Adam, who is not able to get behind Kai quick enough. Reaver goes down next. Really nice stabilization here from Fnatic. And that's how they play. That's how they played that first point too. I mean, whenever there was an opening, they took the fight to them. I think that's kind of what some of these teams are going to have to do lately, especially because Hollywood defense, it favors the aggressor.
All right, so ultimate comes out here from C9. Sound barrier on the way. Here comes the D.Va ultimate, going right to the rooftop and falling right down. I don't know if Kai Kai was angling for the roof or not, but either way, does not get there. Devitt takes out Custa, though, so first pick goes to C9. Reaver falling through, gets on to Reaper. And even with the D.Va ult, still things working out here from C9. Fnatic on the back foot, Stoop on an island, no one here to help him. Swings the hammer wildly, will go down, and good attack here from C9 does work out in the end, even if it's a little bit weird on the beginning.
Devitt just crushed everyone there. I mean, there were some other names in the kill feed who were just cleaning up his scraps, but he went over the top, landed a huge jump early on, got Tesla Cannon, Primal Rage, smacked some people around, finished off that fight, got probably 4 kills there.
Oh, third Dragon Bladed game coming out here from Sherford going to the back. Going to get stymied a bit here by the Transcend. Still manages to take out Buds. Reflects the flashbang, and oh no, not like this. IDDQD just getting bullied around in the back. C9 piling on the kills, chaining the deaths. Now we'll see if they can do this a little bit more as the payload moves through the gates in just a moment.
Yeah, so on a pretty good pace here, the first point defense becoming that much more important as they were able to sell out a couple minutes there. Pretty much all in the way of Cloud9 in the streets phase, except for a few moments there as Fnatic was able to take back the fight. Now they're poised to defend last here. They only have an Earthshatter up, but Earthshatter is a hugely monumental, game-changing ultimate. Why is Adam up
able
here?
to take out Reaper?
Look at Adam's positioning.
Yeah, Adam, this is there. He's pretty far up. Gonna use the Transcendence aggressively, darting all around. Kai Kai does take out IDDQD, but this has not been the greatest for C9. They've just been getting poked down. Buds goes inside back of the Death Blossom, gets absolutely nothing. Kai Kai is spot on with that defensive matrix, stops him from getting what he wants to get. And this has been a bend but don't break offense of all things here. It's been suffering deaths, but they're still hanging in, still keeping pressure in the car. And Cheer4 finally comes in, gets the backline, and a beautiful deflect takes out IDDQD.
All Buds wanted on that Death Blossom was clean up Adam, and Adam was just elusive as always. Even on the non-mobile Zenyatta, he somehow escapes behind those boxes, keeps himself alive with his buddy Kai Kai there. They're now just in stall-out mode. Unless you see the kill feed turning blue, this is just a matter of time.
They have the Earthshatter come out from Stoop here, but absolutely nothing coming of it. C9 still piling on the kills. It is stall mode, as you said, and C9 going to finish it out. 3:16 remaining on the cap as they get it. So that works out to being about a time of 5:46 or 5:14.
Just gonna wait for our admin to type it.
Switching sides.
It's too late, man. It's too late for me to do math. 5:43.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's been a long day of casting. I mean, we started out with the ESL qualifiers earlier in the day, went into the Alienware monthly melee. It's almost been 12 hours of casting with a little bit of a break in between the two events.
Yeah, and we casted for 7.5 yesterday and 8 the day before. So it's been a long couple days, but it's all right. I mean, I feel I'm fine and energetic and able to cast Overwatch. I just don't want to add math onto that list of things to do.
Just like at some point, it's like, look, I'll add math.
All right, now this looks like another throwback kind of look from Cloud9. Of course, they were just kind of innovators of the double builder defense on Hollywood. Now it looks like they were going to run a single builder, but they've been the only team I've seen recently consistently run this Symmetra on defense, and it looks like Kai Kai will be running this Symmetra on defense. So a lot's going to depend on if they can hold for the first push, because after first push, Symmetra becomes infinitely more valuable. To help out with that, Reaver's going to be on Junkrat, Devitt's going to play Reinhardt, Grego will be on the Zenyatta, Adam will play a Mercy as well, a little bit of a wrinkle, something that they also ran on Gibraltar, and Shore4 will bring the damage on McCree.
This is such a gambit, though, running Symmetra. I mean, already one of the banes of defense here on Hollywood has been that you lose on the first push a lot more often now because of the power of D.Va and just how teams are approaching it. To run a Symmetra means that your overall defensive power is going to be a bit worse in the beginning. I mean, barring some insane turret value, so... Well, C9 is gambling. If the gamble pays off and they get teleport up, it's going to be huge, but... I'm not convinced this is the right move. I guess we'll have to see, but would be huge for C9 if they do defend the first push and get the teleporter up.
Well, they did switch. They're not going to run Mercy. Adam does switch to Zenyatta, so it is just the single resurrection mechanic now, so maybe that's a little more comfortable. But hey, it did work on Gibraltar. Different map, different scenario, but yeah, we'll see.
Alright, so Coolmat here will be leading the way as D.Va, flashing the defensive matrix on and off. Fnatic gang right on top of the point. Reaver, though, on the Junkrat, immediately taking out Stoop. And Fnatic's offense having a little bit of trouble here. They lose Winston, they lose a lot of their tanking power as a result. And C9, they can just back up a little bit and say, hey, bring the fight to us. But sure, for that last pick, they will secure at least the first push. and Kai halfway to his teleporter.
Yeah, so first defense looking pretty good.
Surefour just crept around the back, got Kusta, who's trying to hide out. They're going to have to do this without a Zen, and this is rough now for Fnatic.
Yeah, they just can't eat another orb. If Kai ends up in the kill feed, this defense is going to go really well for them. On the left side, rather.
Yeah, just one kill for Kai, just to get the teleporter up. And here comes the tire. Reaver has built it up. Tire on the way. Will anyone get run over? No, they will not. Coolmat able to take out that tire right away. Surefour, though, on a rampage right now, getting another 2 kills to start this out. He's been a big part of C9's defense here, where he's really getting these kills early in fights before Fnatic can really commit to the point.
Yeah, we've talked about how important it is for Kai to hit damage, but if Surefour just keeps killing people, it's going to passively charge. He's already at 80% on this teleporter.
Yeah, so 80% of the teleporter. And for Kai, I mean, it has been a long way to actually get the teleporter up here. You usually want to get a little bit more damage off Symmetra, but with Surefour getting pickoffs doesn't matter as much. But here comes Fnatic rushing right in. IDD Kitty off the Deadeye, takes out Surefour, wins the McCree versus McCree battle. Transcendence is out. Cards on the table here for the side of Fnatic. They even throw in the Sound Bear, so they're going for everything here. But here comes the tire from Reaver, a little bit late in the fight. Will it get the value it's looking for? Does take out Vonethil on the cars, so teleporter now up from Kai. C9 reinforcing. Here comes Buds and Dragon Blade. Gets absolutely nothing as Kai picks up the double kill. Makes it a triple kill. Symmetra being unleashed. Oh my goodness.
I tell you, man, I love Symmetra. Like, that primary is so good. You know why else it's good is because you can't reflect it. It's another one of those beam weapons. Like, Genji starts doing his little Genji thing, and you still just burn him down. Oh, man.
Right, so the Symmetra gamble absolutely paying off for Cloud9 right now. Even if they were to lose first point, they've bought themselves an amazing amount of time, Hex, and they're in a great position to win this game now. As Reaver piles on 2 more.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic defense, and it's something that we've rarely seen. Cloud9's defense today has looked just as good as I remember it looking, and I've said it time and again, the best teams in Overwatch will continue to win by playing better defense than most teams. A lot of teams can finish out maps and put together good offense. Teams that can defend well are teams that win tournaments.
All right, so for Fnatic, this is going to be their last push, really. Only 49 seconds remaining. If they get wiped out here, very unlikely they will be able to have any sort of positioning to go in once more. And time-wise, they're really against it. I mean, 2.5 minutes. Even if this works well, I'm not really sure they have any odds of bringing this back. So this has been a gem of a defense here from C9. Deadeye coming out here from Surefour to open up the fight. Gets 4 shots off, immediately destroys Stoop Shield. And here comes the tire once more for Reaver. He's been getting good value off these tires the entire time. Looks for it now. Does explode. It does not get a kill, though, so it did do a little bit of damage. Something else. Kai, though, rushing in for the scraps, takes out Buds. 3 kills here for C9. Make it 4, and Hex, they have done it. This is, I think that might be the first full hold on Hollywood that we've, on point A,
yeah,
that we've seen since the patch.
Post-patch, first point hold on Hollywood, that's, I thought I'd never see it again. Just based on what we saw the last couple days. A brilliant defense coming out from Cloud9, running those older tactics. You got your Junkrat, you got your Symmetra, get that teleporter up. Really good look from Cloud9. They're going to take this set away from Fnatic 2-1.
Can it be a Symmetra play of the game? It's probably not.
Oh, it should have been.
It
really should have been.
This is right towards the end. Deadeye, of course, just patient in action. Gets 1, does damage to others, gets a double kill. Moves it right along.
That's a nice closeout.
Alrighty, well, that is going to wrap up day number 1 of the Alienware Monthly Melee in July. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be back tomorrow for day number 2. Elimination stages will be on the way. Your favorite teams will be back. And Hex, you have any final sellouts, shoutouts, anything you want to say before we head off here for the night?
No, we'll be back tomorrow. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's at Hexagrams on Twitter.
Well, for me, you can follow me Twitter at TempoZP. Following your favorite casters on Twitter is one of the best ways of showing support. You can also follow this channel. We have tournaments on here all the time. We actually cracked 70,000 followers here on this broadcast, so thank you guys so much. But, as mentioned, this is the end of the cast. We will see you guys tomorrow for more action here in the Alienware Monthly Melee. See you then.